this video, we'll go over how to select which fit method to use for your ELISA, helpful tools available to compare fit methods, and introduce a new tool available on myassays2.com that can assist with making that decision. ELISAs come in many different forms, competitive and direct, with sigmoidal or linear relationships. Often the manufacturer's kit insert will recommend a specific fit method, and in which case MyAssays offers analysis tools for specific fit methods. But sometimes the data analysis instructions are to plot your calibrators and apply the best fit line. How can you determine the best fit line? First, let's take a look at my data. I have my data arranged in a 12x8 96 well format, and you can see my plate layout at the top of the screen. My assay has 6 standards, 2 controls, and the rest of the plate is filled with unknowns, all in duplicate. To the right of my layout and data, I've entered my standard concentrations from the kit insert. MyAssays has several tools to help you quickly compare and apply fit methods. Let's first take a look at mycurvefit.com. MyCurveFit.com allows you to enter your calibrator X and Y values and apply different fit and weight methods to identify which is most appropriate for your data set. I'll log in to MyCurveFit.com, and looking back at my data set, the calibrator X values are the concentrations from my kit insert, and the Y values will be the average Y values of my standard samples. I'll copy these values and return to MyCurveFit.com. Here I'll select to clear the existing X and Y data and paste in my copied values. I'll follow through the steps of the wizard, answering a few questions about how my data is organized. Once I press apply, here we can see my data has been plotted on linear axes with a 4PL fit. Now that we've added our data, how can we assess the validity of the fit? There are a few different tools at our disposal. The first is simply looking at the data. On linear axes, I can see it doesn't really look like a very linear data set. In fact, if we add a linear regression fit method by opening the fit method drop-down box and selecting linear regression, we can see that fit doesn't really model my data very well. This is confirmed by a second tool for assessing the validity of the fit, the R-squared value. R-squared is an intuitive and relative measure of the fit, providing information on how much variability in the fit the model explains. The closer to 1, the better the fit. So with this information, I'd say we're looking at a data set that is more sigmoidal in nature. The most common sigmoidal fit methods used in ELISA analysis are 4PL and 5PL. These curves are typically plotted on semilog axes, meaning the x-axis is logarithmic and the y-axis is linear. So I'll change the x-axis to logarithmic by selecting the x and selecting logarithmic. Now let's change the fit method to a 4PL fit. Opening the fit method drop-down box, and under the nonlinear section, I'll select 4PL. Immediately you can see the fit is much better. It follows more closely the standard samples and appears to model the fit pretty well. The R-squared is also much higher. In addition to the fit methods, you can also add weight models to the fit. Weighting is used where the precision or error of the collected measurements varies in relation to the direction and position on an axis. This is often the case in real-world observations, as the error in collected measurements is not typically consistent. With the fit method drop-down box open, we can apply different weight models by using the weighting options to the right-hand side of the screen. So using MyCurveFit, you can quickly and easily compare different fit methods for your data set to determine which will be best for your assay run. The next tool I'd like to demonstrate is the Best Fit ELISA protocol on myassays2.com. This analysis protocol performs quantitative analysis for 96 well ELISAs with an optional blank correction step. Standard points are plotted, and the determined best fit curve is fitted through the standard data points. This best fit method performs multiple fit methods, 4PL, 5PL, and linear regression, all with various weighting methods, and automatically chooses and applies the best fit. The best fit is chosen based on the fit score method, which we'll discuss a little more in a moment. The concentrations for each of the unknown and control samples are then calculated using the applied fit method. Looking at the analysis tabs, we can specify the settings for our run. On the measurements tab, we can import our data directly from a file, including proprietary reader formats, or we can copy and paste our data into the pad. I'll go ahead and copy and paste my data into the pad. On the microplate layout tab, we can update the layout to match our requirements. I'll select Create Layout and update the layout to match my layout. With 6 standards, 2 controls, and unknowns in duplicate. Once I have my layout configured, I'll select Save and Close. On the Standard Concentrations tab, I'll update the values using the series option, starting with a concentration of 5, following a series multiplied by 2. I'll leave the dilution factors set to 1 as all of my samples were run neat or undiluted, and I'll also leave the sample IDs set to the default. You can copy and paste these values in or enter them manually. Next, let's calculate our results. Once our results are calculated, you'll see an interactive chart along with the report. Opening the interactive chart, we can see the 4PL fit with 1/x² weighting was applied. This curve fit shows a high R² value, which you can see appearing alongside the curve fit equations below the chart. You can also add sample types to the curve by selecting them from the top of the screen. Minimizing the interactive chart and taking a closer look at our report, we'll see the curve chart appearing first, followed by the curve data table, coefficient table, our best fit table, and the goodness measures table. The best fit table displays all of the fits compared and their rank. You'll see the R² value as well as the score. The score is different from the R² value because in this case we're also looking at the low and high end accuracy, meaning the fit that's chosen will take into account the R² and the accuracy towards the end of the curve. And in this case you'll see that the 4PL 1/x² fit is ranked number 1 and has been applied to the data. Below these tables, you'll find a sample table with the concentration results for our unknown and control samples. And at the bottom of the PDF report, you'll also see an operator signature line. Now, looking at this curve, we can tell that we're working with a direct ELISA. As the measurement increases, the concentration increases. This protocol can be used for any type of ELISA data, so I have another example data set for a competitive ELISA. In my data spreadsheet on the second tab, you can see this ELISA follows the same plate layout format, including the same standard concentrations. So I'll copy and paste my data in under the Measurements tab. And this time when we recalculate, we can see this data set shows an inverse relationship between measurement and concentration. We can see the 5PL with x² weighting has been applied to this data set. And on the report, scrolling down to the best fit table, we can see the ranking of the fit methods compared. The Best Fit ELISA protocol on myassays2.com provides an excellent tool for comparing different fit methods for your ELISA and simplifies the process by applying the best fit automatically. If you have any questions about identifying the best fit for your ELISA using mycurvefit.com or the Best Fit ELISA analysis tool on myassays2.com, please email us at support@myassays.com.